Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. So we'd chatted before about how we're going to do some more content for the YouTube, and we're going to do some workshop features just to showcase some of the more interesting stuff that we do in the workshop here. This 110 behind me is one of them vehicles. So this is already a well-travelled vehicle and has already done quite a few expeditions, but the owner came to us to try and make it a bit more organised, just to make them expeditions a bit easier. So we'll spin round, we'll have a look at what's going on inside the car. So this is just phase one at the moment. We've got more stuff to do, we'll explain throughout. So I'll spin you around. So let's say there's a bit of evidence there of previous expeditions that the car's done. It's a well-travelled Defender. So it started life as a 110 county station wagon. Our first job was to set the alarm off. Well, not really, but we'll turn the alarm off. There we go. Right, so we've stripped out the rear of the car, took out the second row seats, see there's a void there where they were, and took out the rear seats. We've installed this two-stage setup from Derek at LRS Off-Road. So we've got the draw system there. It's got removable dividers that you can set or just take them all out and have the whole thing. For now we've just dropped the dividers in there, but we can reconfigure them later. So we're loaded up, ready to go. Let's hit the road and go see Dom at K2 Design and Engineering. We're back in the sunshine again. I think I'm going to make a new rule where we only do videos in the sunshine, although there might not be many videos if we only do that. But yeah, got a lovely sunny day and we're here with the 110 Defender that we're doing an overlanding build. But I thought we'd chat about one of the most important features of any overland build, is underneath the car. And obviously we've not got the car on a ramp because we're parked next to a lake. But it's too easy to jump on the bandwagon and say, right, I've got to have a roof tent, I've got to have a draw system, I need an awning, I need all this, and you forget about what's under the car. So the first thing we did was, with this 110, we started with the mechanicals. So you kind of have to put a different hat on when you're looking at a vehicle that's going overlanding. So if we were doing a vehicle inspection and we saw some wear in a suspension bush, and if that vehicle was just normal day-to-day use and it was just a little bit of wear, we might say bring it back in 6 months time, let's have another look and see if it needs changing. But knowing what this vehicle does and where it's going, that's like the same wear in the same suspension bush would only last 2 weeks in the Sahara, for example. So you'd look at vehicles with a different mindset when you know what the vehicles are going to be doing. They're going to be used in arduous conditions, and the wear is going to be greater on them. So always make sure your vehicle is mechanically sound. That is the key to a happy and stress-free expedition. So we've gone through the car, we've done all the mechanicals. It's had new BF Goodrich tyres, Overland EMU suspension, new suspension bushes throughout, new brakes and a good service and a good bit of the old RCM love and attention, just to make sure everything is right and fit for a trouble-free trip. And then we can concentrate on what's inside the car for the storage ideas. But like I say, always make sure your car is fit for travel first. Get it checked over properly by someone who has experience in expeditions and knows the kind of conditions that you're going to be putting that car under. And that is key on any expedition. You don't want to be that person that's breaking down and slowing everyone up. Thank you. Right, so we've got the extra elements that we needed from Dominic at K2 Design and Fabrication. We've installed them in the car. Let's have a look at them. We are back at the workshops, although it doesn't look like it here. We're quite lucky to have this beautiful fishing lake right next to the workshops. So I've just moved over here just for a bit of peace and quiet, instead of all the banging and clanging in the workshop. So we'll spin you around, we'll have a look inside the car, and we'll chat about the extras that we've added since we last saw it. So at the start of the video we had these elements installed. These were from Derek at LRS Off-Road at Doncaster. We'd looked at the drawer system and the upper shelf and the side baskets. The addition to that now, so you can see the alley at the end, we've capped off the end of this storage area, because there was no point in having that storage going all the way to the front, because you'd never be able to reach anything that you put in there. So we're keeping the rear section separate to the front. So that's capped off, so you've got one storage area there. Obviously all the storage in the drawers. We've got the storage in the side pods, which these are great, they reach right into the edges. And since we last saw, we've now just added a little bit of rubber. Just a simple touch, but it just finishes it off in the base there. We have also added a switch panel in the back here. So we've got a switch which powers up the panel, because you wouldn't want these USB lights and sockets illuminating at night and just annoying you and keeping you awake. So we're able to switch the panel off with the switch there, and the rest of the switches we have some extra interior lighting, nothing too bright, just to light up the area enough while you're inside. And on the back we have a downlighter which will just light up the camping area if needed. There is also an extra switch. As with most Overland builds, you tend to find there's always something else that you want to add at a later date. So that switch has power to it ready, should we need to add any extra lighting to it, we're already kitted up ready to go. And while we were running lights into the headlining and up to the roof, we've also put some extra cable in towards the side should we need to add a scene lighter or an awning light on the side if he wishes to add an awning. So you may notice since the last time we spoke we have a sleeping platform there. We'll nip round the side door and we'll have a look at that. And we have the fridge, which we mentioned we were going to set slightly lower, because if we had the fridge on this platform you'd never be able to reach into the top of it. So we've made it so that you can access it while you're in the back of the car. So if you're laid in bed you can grab yourself a cold drink, or if you pull over and you're still in the driver's seat, be a bit of a stretch, but you can actually lean over and grab something out, obviously while you're stationary. But the easiest access is through the second row passenger door there, which we'll walk around and have a look at. I've only just switched it on this morning, so it's not quite down to temperature, but it's currently at 1 degree, so that's nice enough to keep things nice and cool. So let's walk around the side, have a look at the fridge. So we've got the ARB classic 47 litre fridge here, easily accessible from the side. You can just lift it up, drop your shopping in there, and grab a cold drink while you're camping, or like we said, while you're on your sleeping platform, it can be accessed while you're in bed. Another lovely little feature, which is an essential camping accessory, the ARB bottle opener. Comes with the protective bag for the fridge. These bags are great. Not only do they look good, they add a bit of protection to your fridge, and it also makes your fridge more efficient because of the thermal properties of the bag. So that's a great thing. Just look after your fridge. Under the fridge, so we've got a small area here. Again, we're keeping things separate, so this side underneath is separate to the offside underneath. We don't want too much stuff floating around in here because this is where the electrics are, which is a Victron energy inverter, just so we can charge a laptop or any items that don't normally have a USB charger. We can charge them off that. Difficult to see underneath, but we've also got a small fuse box in there for the auxiliary items, powering the sockets at the back that we've just looked at, and the fridge, and there's a bit of wiring under there as well, just keeping it all out of the way. You notice we've run the wiring down through the floor, along the chassis and back up into the battery box. Now obviously the battery box is just there, so it would have been easy to just come from there to there, but then the wiring's vulnerable sat on the floor there, so we've gone down underneath and back up into there, and then we can keep that area empty knowing that the wiring is not going to get damaged. So let's walk back round and have a look at this sleeping platform that Dominic has made for us. Now at the moment it's still in its raw state, so the framework, the steel frame and the aluminium top is still bare steel and bare aluminium. Now we've done this because there was two reasons actually. One, we're on a bit of a time scale as the customer is booked on an overlanding trip in 2 days time. So I'll admit we were a bit up against it to get it powder coated in time. But also, as we know with all overlanding builds, there's always something that you might forget, or you might want to add on, or you might even want to change. So I've said to the customer, you know, let's take it away, use it, live out of it for a couple of weeks, and let's see if there's anything we need to add. So obviously, with it being in its raw form at the moment, it's ideal for us to add to it. And then when he returns and we know we don't need to do any more welding or drilling, we can then get it powder coated in its finished state. So please just excuse the bare steel and the bare aluminium. It will be powder coated black once it's finished. Back round again. So we've got an aluminium top on here for the sleeping platform, which just extends from the rear. As we've already looked at the fridge, you can get to that nicely from here. And then we've got a great big storage area underneath. So the panels for the front and the side of this storage area, we've had them cut out with mole holes. So any pouches or anything can be added to the front of it or to the side of it. So you can velcro a first aid kit, for example, in between the front seats, right behind you, grab it nice and quickly if needed. Hopefully it'll never be needed. So again, with the thoughts of adding things on at a later date, the customer has never used the vehicle with a storage system in, so it is going to be a work in progress that we can add to. So this whole area at the moment is just empty. As it is, it's perfect for just chucking your sleeping bag, bedding, spare wellies, things like that aren't going to rattle around too much. But if needed, we can add an extra shelf, we can even put a small drawer system in there, but we can add to that if needed. and as we've already said, we've got plenty of storage at the back, so I think let's use it, see how quickly this storage fills up, which I don't think it will, and see if we need the extra storage under the bed. We very nearly forgot one of the most important accessories for any well-prepared overlanding Defender. So let's turn around and we'll have a look at that. It's the most important must-have accessory for any Defender. The RCM 4x4 air freshener. How about that?